Hello dear fellow BandHub members, this is Lalo aka B-Boy Lalo on BandHub, and I'm going to try to make a tutorial on how to use audio routing in order to process the sound from a DAW, a digital audio workstation, and send it to BandHub. So you can apply effects, use MIDI controllers, and whatever not. So the first thing that you are going to want is a digital audio workstation. I am only going to explain the principle on how to do this, because it might depend on the hardware that you are using, the audio interface, the power of the system that you have, latency. These are things that I cannot make a tutorial on because they are hardware dependent. So basically, what is my setup? My setup consists of an audio interface, which gets plugged in my laptop, and Ableton Live. This is what I use. You can use whatever you want, but I won't know how to help you unless you are using exactly the same setup that I am using. So the first thing that you want to do is to get Audio's ASIO Link Pro tool and to get it to work with your audio interface. Again, I cannot help you with that, but once you get it set up and you can get out sound from Audio's ASIO Link Pro tool, you're pretty much good to go. So the first thing that you will want to do is open your DAW and set up a channel for recording. So I have my audio interface set up to record, to take input from channel 2, which is my guitar input, for example. I'm going to drop a VST effect over it, which in my case will be amplitude. Let's choose a preset. Then you are going to want to arm it for recording, the first step. The second step would be to arm it for monitoring. So we should hear some sound right now coming out from the channel with the effect applied. All good. And here comes the tricky part. We have here two bus tracks. A bus track is usually used to group more channels into only one channel and apply a single effect for them for different reasons. To reduce the number of processing threads or to apply the same effect on all of them, but we don't want that, so I'm going to delete the default effect that is put by Ableton Live. The second thing, we are going to tell track 4 that we want to send it to bus A. So basically right now, if I have signal on my channel 4 that I am recording and monitoring on, I'm going to have it on A bus as well. Great. Now, how do we get it to output sound to BandHub? We go to the Audio 2 tab, and for the first time you will want to go to Configure, Output Config, and create a channel 3-4. You could also go with mono as well, doesn't really matter at this point. We press OK, and now we can see that besides the 1 and 2, we also have the 3 and 4. You guys won't have these links made. It will look mostly like this. So what is happening in here? Here we have ASIO driver in, and we can see that if I play my guitar on channel 2, I'll have signal. The signal goes to the host. The host is Ableton Live. So Ableton Live receives the signal, and then it's going to output to the speakers. So the first channel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, is the physical speakers or headphones that you are listening through. It's the monitoring. You don't want to touch it, leave it just like it is. But as we can also see, we have signal on 3 and 4. Not yet. But we need to route the signal to 3 and 4 as well. So we made the setup, we created the 3 and 4 channels. Then we are going to go to bus A and say external output and choose channels 3/4. And now we'll get signal on channels 3 and 4. Great. So the first part is going to be called Mix 01 in ASIO Link Pro. The second part with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or whatever appears for you, is going to be mix 02. So we are going to connect the output from the DAW, from Ableton Live in my case, to channel 1. Again, if you wanted to put it in stereo, doesn't really matter because BandHub only records mono channels. So now we'll have output on mix 02, which, if I'm not mistaken, we can also see in the sounds. I'm on a different version of Windows. As you can see, my meter moves on mix 02 as well. Then we are going to launch the recording app. And what you always want to remember is to set up, instead of mix 01, you'll want to choose mix 02. If you leave it on mix 01 and you hit playback, as you can see, I am not strumming my guitar, but I also get the sound from the backing track. We don't want that. We want a clean track. So you'll always want to make sure that you choose mix 02. After you make your setup, to get rid of this problem, you can always set mix 02 as the default device. And the next time that you'll open up BandHub, it will set itself on mix 02. But this has to be done in every session when you open and close ASIO Link Pro tool. So now I have mix 02 set up. I have the signal. I just hit record. And I start playing. I can hear myself monitoring. I hear the song. Of course, you'll have to make sure to set up the correct volumes, not like I did now. The correct monitoring. This is something you have to do inside your digital audio workstation, in my case Ableton Live. Here is the new track that I recorded. Just let's play it back for demo purposes. I'm going to solo it. Of course, we are not hearing the backing track. We have the clean track. Any sound that you place on this track, it might be a MIDI controller, it might be a music file, it might be live input which is processed, just like I'm doing right now with Amplitude. Let's say I change the preset. Everything that you route to send A is going to be picked up in BandHub as mix 02. So this is pretty much a tutorial on the principles on what you need to achieve to output sound towards BandHub. It is software and hardware specific. You might also be able to use other combinations like jack audio, which does pretty much the same thing, but is not using the ASIO protocol. So it doesn't require you to have an audio interface, maybe. I'm not sure. This is the only solution that works for me, and I wanted to share with you guys because some more people ask me how am I using my MIDI controller to output to BandHub. This is the way I do it. So I hope it's been helpful. If you need any assistance, don't hesitate to contact me via the BandHub Pioneers group on Facebook. Have a nice day and all the best, and rock on.